What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of BlackTideTV. Today we're reviewing the JS2 PDW in Battlefield 4. The JS2 PDW is the last PDW or personal defense weapon that you unlock via XP. So basically there's some PDWs that you have to do certain challenges to unlock, but this one, all you have to do is use the PDWs enough and get enough XP with them, and this is the final one that you're going to unlock. So I've been going through, I'm doing all the final unlock via XP weapons first, and then I'm going to go back and we're going to do some of the challenge unlock weapons. And then even if I get a lot of traffic, we're going to go back and we're going to do all of the weapons in the entire game, because I like all the weapons in this game. They're all kind of different, and there's a lot that can be said about a lot of them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the JS2. First, let's talk about the damage. The damage of the JS2, originally I was going to say it was average, but it's actually low. When I first started using it, it felt like I was getting some pretty melty kills, but after some consideration, that was at very, very close range. Basically, a PDW is a personal defense weapon. So when an enemy is very close to you, it's obviously going to work very well. When an enemy gets at even medium range or close medium range, this weapon sucks. This weapon is like 4 to 5 shots to kill on average at most ranges. It's only when you're right up in the other person's grill, that's when you're going to get a 3-shot kill. So I'm going to call the damage on this one low, and it's definitely better for up close and personal kind of fighting. So obviously when we're talking about range, we're gonna say that its optimal range is very, very short range. So optimal range on this one is going to be short, but its regular range is going to be short as well. So the range is all across. It's going to be short range. You're going to want to be very close with this weapon at all times. Now, its accuracy is very bad. Like it's not very bad. It's poor. I'll call it poor. It kicks really, really hard. It's got a really high recoil considering it's just a little gun. So it's kind of bad accuracy, but the recoil is very predictable. It's always up and to the right, so it's easy to control. It's easy to go ahead and hold the analog stick down and keep it accurate before you start shooting. So it's just poor. It's not terrible, but it's poor. The hipfire accuracy on this weapon is good. There's nothing really special about it. It's not like amazing, but it's not great. Or I mean, it's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's like an average. It's average for the PDWs, which is good over all the weapons. So the hipfire accuracy is good. It's definitely one of the strong suits of this weapon. The iron sights on this weapon, as you're seeing now, aren't very nice. They kind of got a great big giant blocky hindsight, and it makes it really, really hard to engage any enemies outside of close range. Hopefully, if you're using this weapon, you're not engaging enemies outside of close range, God forbid, but if you do end up having to shoot at an enemy that's at even medium range, and you're using the iron sights on this gun, you're not going to have a very fun time of doing that, because the hind sights are so big and bulky that it makes for a terrible time. So the iron sights are poor. They're not sinfully bad where you can't see anything, but they're not very nice. The handling is fast. That's pretty average across all the PDWs. They're very fast weapons to draw. The only things that they're beat by is probably the pistols. So it's pretty fast. I gave it a fast rating for the handling on this weapon. The fire rate is 900 RPM. That is fast in this game. Basically, what I consider fast is pretty much anything over 800, 850. Is pretty fast. It's not crazy. It's not like the FAMAS where it's 1100 RPM or something, but it does get the job done with the RPM, and hopefully, because it's actually very good that it has that fast fire rate, because there's not a lot of other strong suits to this weapon. You've got the hip fire accuracy and you've got the fire rate, and that's pretty much it so far. The other thing that really makes me angry about this weapon is that it's only got 30 bullets in the magazine. Well, 30 plus 1 if you do mid-magazine reload. But it's not very good for PDW. It's average across all guns, so it's actually going to get an average rating. But for the PDWs, it's really bad, especially one like this where it's got high fire rate and low damage, because you'll fire off those 30 bullets in an instant. You'll spray them down range and they'll be gone, and you're not going to get a lot of kills with the 30 bullets. So it's very hard to use those 30 bullets effectively when you're using this weapon. Moving on, it's reload speed. This is hand in hand with the magazine size. This is a very bad part of this gun. The reload speed is slow average. I called it right in between, kind of slow and average, because it doesn't pair well with the magazine size. Definitely, you do not want to get caught when you're reloading this weapon, because it is well, it's not very slow, but it's a slow reload for a PDW where all your engagements are close range. This is a very slow reload, and with only 30 bullets means you're going to be reloading a lot. So you're going to be spraying all those bullets down range, barely getting any kills, and then you're going to have to reload this thing, and then you're going to get slaughtered while you're reloading it because it takes forever to reload. So you really have to watch out what you're doing while you're reloading this weapon, and you gotta be conserving that ammunition as best as you can. So how do you use this weapon? What's the best way to use it? And my personal opinion, don't use it. I can't stand this weapon, to be honest with you guys. I really hate it. It's not very effective at anything in particular. But if you're destined to use this weapon, or if you're just thick-headed and you want to use it, definitely use it for flanking. It's got that medium high damage. It's kind of a 3-shot kill when you're really close. So basically, if you're right on somebody, you can get a 3-shot kill almost every time. So you're gonna want to get right into people's faces, but you're going to get slaughtered on your way up to their faces. So what can we do instead of that? We can completely flank our players, the enemy team, and you can get right into their back of the head, right into the back of their heads, and blow their brains out, basically. But what you're going to want to do is stealthy gameplay with this weapon. You're going to want to flank all the time. You're never going to want to run straight into the battle, because you're gonna get wrecked most of those times. In this gameplay, I do run into a couple people, and just by sheer luck, I make it out alive. But when you're using this weapon, you're definitely going to want to be flanking all the time. Put a silencer on it. We'll get to that in a second in the attachments, but put a silencer on it and flank. That's all you're gonna want to do, and never ever get caught while you're reloading, because it's got that small magazine. You're going to want to flank around, maybe kill one guy, then you're going to want to come back, like go back and hide a little bit, reload, come back out and kill the next guy, go back into hiding and reload. You're going to want to keep doing that and that. You can't get a lot of double or triple kills with this weapon, so you're going to want to emerge from the shadows and kill one guy, then go back, and then emerge from the shadows again and kill the next guy, and just kind of do that. So what do I recommend you use in the class for this weapon? And I recommend you use the number one thing you should be using is flashbangs or smoke. Now, your flashbangs and smoke can be used for two different things, and these two things are actually very effective with this weapon. Number one is reloads, because your reloads, like I keep saying, are abysmally slow for a close range weapon. So if you kill an enemy and then you have to go and reload, you can kind of kill an enemy, and if you know there's a guy there, throw a flashbang and blind him, and then run around the corner and reload, or throw smoke down and just lay down right on the ground where nobody can see you and reload really quick, and then wait for the enemy to come up. Or like I said, you can use it as a stealthy weapon. So another good option for your flashbangs and smokes is stealthy approach. So you can kind of use your smoke grenades and hide yourself on your way in, and on your way behind enemy lines. So that's another effective way to use the flashbangs and smoke with this class. Now for attachments, I definitely recommend you use a suppressor. Suppressor over anything. If you're going to put any attachment on this gun at all, make sure it's a suppressor, because this gun, like I keep telling you, I'm trying to get this through to you guys, that this gun needs to be a stealth weapon only. You cannot take on the enemy with this weapon. So you're going to want to use the suppressor. And two other attachments that are definitely recommended would be an optical attachment, like a red dot sight, because the iron sights are so terrible in this gun. But if you're going to be completely stealth 100%, you don't necessarily need to use a red dot sight, because the iron sights should be fine for you, because you're just going to be sneaking up and shooting people in the back anyways. The other thing that I could suggest to you guys is a laser sight. If you put a laser sight on this weapon, the hipfire accuracy goes from good to very good. So the hipfire accuracy would be very, very efficient at killing enemies if you threw the laser sight on here. So say you're using a suppressor and a laser, you never have to aim down the sight, so you wouldn't have to use a red dot, or you know what I mean. So that's pretty much it for this weapon review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys left a like down there. Leave me a comment. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, guys, don't forget to head over to my website and enter the giveaway that I'm doing for a GGN shirt. That's going to be in August, and the sweepstakes are ending on the 6th. That's really hard to say. On the 6th of August. So make sure you're putting in your bids or whatever. I don't really know what to call them, but make sure you go over there and sign up for it. You just have to follow me on Twitter and go to my website and a whole bunch of stuff, and you get more entries, and you can win a GGN t-shirt. So that'll be really cool. So make sure you do that, and make sure you guys come back and see some more videos, because I got a lot of awesome stuff on here, and why wouldn't you want to come and see more? So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you all in my next video.